Hey, pastor friends, McKay here. And if you've ever felt like your sermon is a series of disjointed mini messages rather than one cohesive journey, this video is for you. Part of the problem may be how we're using illustrations. For years, I bought into the idea that a sermon needs multiple illustrations. I would spend hours looking for just the right story and, confessionally, sometimes spending more time looking for the illustrations than working in the text or crafting the actual message. But over time, I discovered that multiple disconnected illustrations may actually be undermining the impact of the message. That's why I teach my pastors in our preaching community to use an entirely different approach. So today I'm going to show you how adopting this new approach will give your preaching an entirely new level of clarity, focus, cohesion, and memorability. Consider the difference between an old truck with a stick shift and a bad clutch versus a new sedan with a continuously variable transmission. In the old truck, you feel every shift of the gears, but with the CVT, 0 to 60, it's smooth sailing. No friction, no jerking, no shifting. In the same way, using multiple disconnected illustrations can be like driving the old truck with a stick shift and the bad clutch. Rather than help the message flow, the constant shifting disrupts the rhythm. So, how do we get that smooth 0 to 60 flow without the friction? Here is the secret. Instead of multiple illustrations, use one illustration. I call it the anchor illustration, which is a single image, story, or metaphor that recurs throughout the entire message, from introduction through the movements and even showing up in the conclusion. So that by weaving one story, image, or metaphor, it can be really simple, but by weaving this through the sermon, rather than jumping between different stories, you're able to create cohesion, focus, clarity, and memorability. In fact, one of the guys in our preaching community posted just last week. One of the things that I have noticed since the beginning of using Preach 360 and the PPGR framework with the anchor illustration is that people remember my sermons. When I do shepherding visits or just have coffee with people, I hear the things I preached in the sermon quite regularly. That is really cool. That's what we want, isn't it? So if you want to stop delivering disjointed mini messages and start preaching cohesive, focused, clear, gospel-centered, redemptive sermons that people remember, trade the old stick shift for a single anchor illustration. Of course, some of us have trouble finding illustrations that really fit. So with the Preach 360 online sermon studio, you'll never struggle to find the right illustration again. You'll never have to wonder how to weave that illustration through the text. All the help you need is built in. So if you're interested, check out preach360.com, become part of the community, and get more info. My name is McKay Caston, and I look forward to seeing you here next time.